Did you know that there are foods that cause mucus to form within your body? It's true, and it can be really annoying when it happens. Worst of all, a lot of these foods are staples of many people's diets, which can make it pretty difficult to give them up. Reducing mucus from the body is pretty important though, and having phlegm and mucus can really slow things down for you internally. That's why we are going to cover the top 14 foods that cause mucus you must avoid, so stick around because you're going to be really surprised about what shows up on this list. Number 1. Bread. This one hurts. Bread is such a staple in most households that you may be shocked to discover that it is a mucus-causing food. A study done on the subject found that people who had 2 or more pieces of bread a day were more likely to have mucus congestion, as well as nasal polyps, a growth that forms inside the nose. Bread can have a big impact on your respiratory system besides mucus too, as a separate study concluded that people who regularly eat bread are more likely to develop asthma, as well as asthma symptoms like shortness of breath, wheezing, and coughing. Number 2. Milk. Technically, milk isn't something that increases your production of mucus, but it does increase the thickness of the mucus you do produce. This can be just as bad, if not a little worse, as this increased thickness can cause congestion, phlegm buildup, and give you a heavy feeling in your head. On top of all that, dairy products such as milk, cheese, yogurt, and the like can also thicken up the saliva in your mouth, making you feel like you have to spit. When you combine the thickening of the mucus and the thickening of your saliva, you may have a more difficult time swallowing after consuming dairy, and that feeling may not go away for a few hours. Number 3. Red meat. Foods that cause mucus in the body often are high in protein, which is why eggs and meats can cause an increase in mucus and phlegm. Not all meats are created equal, however, and research has indicated that red meat actually produces more mucus upon consumption than other protein sources. This has to do with the high amount of fat that red meat contains, but obviously our body needs protein. And so how can you replace it? Trying poultry like chicken or turkey is helpful, or even getting soy or fish as your main source of protein could do the trick. Ultimately, it's about finding something you enjoy, but red meat already has its fair share of issues, so it's probably smart to save it as sort of a treat to avoid mucus buildup. Number 4. Sugary foods. Sugar is also a common food that produces a whole lot of mucus. It's mostly the processed kind that does the most trouble for our nasal passage. So think of foods like candy bars, milk chocolate, and that kind of thing more than actual sugar. Still though, processed sugar is in so much of our food today that it can often be overwhelming to avoid it. People with asthma tend to have a stronger reaction to sugar, and a study from 2014 found that even the healthiest people produce more mucus in their nasal cavity after eating sugar. Number 5. Fatty fish. On this channel, we often talk about how fatty fish like salmon and sardines contain some really healthy stuff for us, like omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3s are really good for you in a lot of ways, but they also are a food that causes mucus and phlegm to appear. Fats and oils in general can have this effect on us, and it's not just in our nose and throat either. When you eat fatty foods or really oily foods like fish, you can accidentally trigger a massive amount of phlegm and mucus in the chest, which can give you that congested feeling. Since there are so many health benefits to these fish, it's hard to recommend that anyone completely stay away from them. But you may need to either ration out how much you eat or perform a lung detox after a while to get your body some help. Number 6. Oily nuts. Luckily, dry nuts do not cause your body to produce any more mucus than usual, but oily nuts tend to cause a lot of mucus to form in your throat, nose, and even your lungs. Foods like seeds, legumes, rice, and oatmeal also tend to cause the production of mucus in your body to increase. Although not to the amount that oily nuts can. This is much in the same way that fatty fish like salmon can cause mucus production to increase, as your body can have a hard time processing all that protein and those fatty acids at once. If you don't think you can completely give up oily nuts, either because of the nutritional value or because of the flavor, you should still try to limit yourself to a few handfuls a day at most. These nuts are high in fat, and that can cause some other health problems to occur too. Number 7. Histamines. Histamines are usually found in foods like tomatoes, spinach, mushrooms, and fermented foods, and they can help your body fight off allergies. Unfortunately, they can also cause your body to produce more mucus than it needs, and there are even foods that don't contain any histamines but cause your body to produce it. Some of these include strawberries, shellfish, bananas, pineapples, and chocolate. Even though they don't actually contain histamines, they will still cause your body to create more mucus and will make it a little harder to swallow or breathe. Number 8, fast food. This probably isn't the first time that someone has told you to avoid fast food, as it often is the punching bag of the health community. A lot of this is justified though, as fast food usually contains a lot of sodium, fats, and isn't all that nutritious for you. Avoiding frequent trips to the drive-thru at your favorite burger place can result in you reducing mucus from your body, and it's very much worth considering. A study found that for every serving of fast food eaten a week, your risk of developing asthma increased by 18%. And one of the biggest side effects of asthma is an increase in mucus production. Most fast food is also fried in vegetable oil, which only makes your body produce more mucus. While there are certainly options on this list that have some kind of positives to potentially outweigh their negatives, fast food is not one of them. Number 9, corn. Corn is a very popular food that is utilized in dishes across the world, but it is also one of the many foods that cause phlegm and mucus. The problem is the protein in corn, which specifically seems to trigger a strong response from the enzymes in our body, producing extra mucus as a result. A study found that along with the increase in phlegm and mucus, you also can experience itchiness, sneezing, or running nose because of the corn protein. You also are more likely to experience an asthma attack when eating large amounts of corn regularly. Number 10, processed meat. Processed meat tends to come with a lot of problems. For one, it's usually composed of red meat, which isn't always the healthiest for you, and poses the most risks of any meat source. Secondly, it's really high in sodium, and also uses a lot of preservatives that can cause inflammation and swelling to occur. When this happens, our body's natural reaction is to produce more mucus, which can cause the feeling of constant mucus in the throat. Number 11, cheese. Not only is cheese a dairy product, meaning that it will produce thicker mucus, but it also contains histamines. Like we mentioned earlier, histamines are good for curing allergies, but not so good when it comes to mucus, as they can trigger your body to drastically increase production. Cheese is one of the biggest mucus-causing foods out there. A study found that people who eat cheese at least 4 times a week are almost twice as likely to experience nasal congestion as the result of the mucus and phlegm than if you just cut down on the cheese a little bit. Number 12, soda. If you are looking to breathe easier and feel less congested, consider dropping soda for good. This is another entry that shouldn't surprise many people, as the nutritional benefits of soda are basically zero. The sodium in soda also causes mucus to build up pretty quickly, and it can take a long time for your body to finally settle back down to reduce the swelling. Number 13, eggs. Unfortunately, there are a lot of reasons why eggs cause mucus to form within your chest, throat, and nose. It's also a common ingredient in most meals, and if you are eating a lot of it, it might explain why you're feeling so congested all the time. Not only will eggs cause your body to produce thicker mucus, and not only are they a histamine, but they also contain tons of protein. Protein from meat or eggs is heavy, and our bodies have to work to get those essential amino acids from our foods to power us. This can result in an increased amount of mucus formed in order to break it down. Eggs can cause some issues for your mucus production for sure, so it's worth going through a lung cleanse or detox if you are starting to feel the effects. Number 14, caffeinated drinks. Drinks like coffee, tea, or energy drinks that contain caffeine are considered diuretics. This means that your body will feel like it has to go to the bathroom more than it does, which can leave you dehydrated. When you are dehydrated, your body will produce a thicker mucus, and you may be unable to breathe as easily and feel like phlegm and mucus are stuck in your throat. What's your favorite way to avoid mucus buildup? Leave a comment and let us know. Here are 2 more videos you might find interesting. Feel free to choose the one you like. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and share the video with your friends. And for more interesting videos on health, subscribe to the channel.